your Android phone. And my name is Donna. I'm your guide. I was in the IT industry for over 30 years. I enjoy helping people get over their fear of technology. And we are Get Set Up. We're seniors teaching seniors about technology. We also have social hours. You can get request a recording of this session at the end by emailing help@getsetup.io. And also, we're not paid to promote any of these Android phones. We're going to be mentioning the models and everything, but we do not get any kickbacks for that. All right, so our agenda today, we're going to talk about checking data and battery usage on our phones, backing up our photos, and saving and finding files. All right, and we just asked who has, what Android phone. We have a mix, as usual, in the class. So let's talk first about the Play Store. When we go to our phones, I have a Motorola G6. This is it here. We go to the Play Store. It has the icon with the little blue pyramid. If you click on that, that's where we can get our apps. They literally have millions of apps here. All types of apps that you can find. If you look at the bottom of the screen, there's games, apps, movies and TV, books, all types of things that can be downloaded onto your phone. You have a search box at the top. You can search for apps. The one problem, though, with the Play Store, if you're really getting into it and you want to research and read a lot of reviews, you're trying to research an app, it can be a little small for the eyes to read off the phone, depending on what type of phone you have. So the first tip is that their Google Play is available on the web from your a laptop. You can come in here, you can look at the different apps that are available for your phone. On the left side of the screen, you can manage your Google account. You can look at the payment methods you already have signed up for Google or add them if you need to. You can look at your subscriptions you might have with Google. You can buy gift cards, you can redeem gift cards. And you can look at these apps. Like, let's say I want this. What is this? Look at this coloring app. So I can pull this up. I can see what the screens are here. There's a little arrow on the right side where I can scroll through and see what the screens look like on the app. I can scroll down and read the reviews. Not too bad. When you're looking at the reviews for an app, it's a scale of 5. So the more 5s and less of anything else, that's the better way to go on the apps. So this looks like an app that people like. So you can come in here, you can read about it. And then if you are interested in it, when I hit this install button, now I'm on my laptop. What's going to come up is Google knows I have a Motorola G6, so my phone's going to pop up here. If you have more than one phone attached to your Google account, you'll be able to scroll up and down to pick whichever phone you want to put this app on. And then when I select my phone here and click continue, it's going to install it on my phone. So you can install right from the web page to your phone. Any questions about that? Just another way, sometimes I know for myself, if I'm looking for a specific app, then I have to start reading all the reviews and everything, and it can be a little tedious on the phone if you're having trouble reading your screen. All righty. So let's move on. Let's talk about checking and controlling data usage on our phones. You'll be going into your settings and look for data usage. Your settings icon, if you look on your phone, it's a gear. It looks like a little gear. Mine has green around it. Yours might have blue, maybe gray or silver. You can open that up, and that will bring you to your settings. Now, some Samsungs, you'll notice at the bottom of my slides, I'll usually have, I'll refer to the Samsungs because they put things in different areas sometimes. If if you have a different Samsung and it's not under settings, go to your connections section. It'll be under connections. On my phone, it's under network and internet. I have to go under there, and then I can find data usage. If you look at, when you go into settings, you should, excuse me, you should have a search box. If you can't find something, type it into your search, and your phone will tell you where it is. You'll either have a search box, or maybe you'll have a little magnifying glass here, a little search icon. You can click on that. Sorry about that. Got a tickle in my throat. All right. So once you go into your data usage section, you might see a graph, bar graph, or some type of thing that will tell you about your data usage. I've got 2 more days left, and I'm going to get billed. So you'll find things like that maybe on your phone. You'll see how much data you've used. And then you might see warning or limit, or both. I have both on my phone. I have data warning and limit. You might see something similar to that on your phone. And what these do is control. If you have unlimited data, you probably don't have to worry about this. But if you have a limited data plan, you might have to worry about, especially if you're watching movies and TV on your phone. You can set a warning. I have a warning set on my phone at 2 gigs. I think my plan goes to 3 gigs. All it's going to do is, a warning is just a warning. And your phone, read what your phone, when you open up anything, just read what your phone says. The warning is just a pop-up. It's just going to say, hey, you're at your 2 gig data limit. And that's just a warning to, think twice about watching that next movie or something like that. If you have a set data limit like I have here, the warning is a warning, then there's the data limit. If I click on this, it tells me that when you hit the limit, it's going to shut the mobile data off. That's a little more drastic. However, if you're getting billed extra every month because you are going over your data plan, maybe you do have to do drastic. It's up to you. Again, don't feel like you have to make any changes to your phone today. This is for information. Just to let you know about these features. So take a look at what your phone does. You can, see what you have there in the area.
What's the data saver? Now what do you? Okay, should that be on?
Yeah, data saver is the other one we have here on our slide here. The data saver, now normally when you're at home, I'm going to open up this data saver. I have mine off at the moment. Mm-hmm. It'll reduce your data usage. Like when you're at home, you probably attached to your Wi-Fi.
Right, exactly.
Or you should have your phone attached to your Wi-Fi, because then your phone will use the Wi-Fi first, and then it uses data.
Okay. But you have to turn it on if you want it. I usually use my Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi hooked up, and my mobile data off. And if I leave the house, I'll turn my mobile data on.
Yeah. There you go. So what the data saver does is, when you're in data saver, once you leave your house and you're off your Wi-Fi, then data saver is going to make any apps that are trying to do updates or notifications that you're not using, the unused apps, they're not going to be allowed to do that while you're away from your Wi-Fi.
Okay.
They'll have to wait until you come home and get on Wi-Fi, and then they can update.
Okay, gotcha. All right, good.
So that'll help.
Yeah, that'll help save data.
Yeah. It tries to help save data. Now, some people, the downside is if your phone is a little aggressive on its data saver, some images might not load on web pages and stuff like that. It may really clamp down. So you have to look at your phone and see what the settings are. Try it out. You can always try it out. If you don't like it, you can just go back in and shut it off if you don't like it. But that's what it does. Now, some people may have a thing called Wi-Fi calling. Does anyone have that on their phone? If you have Wi-Fi calling, this is where you're going to use, normally when you do your Wi-Fi on your phone, it's just data. just like going to Facebook, getting on the internet, that type of thing. Wi-Fi calling, if you have it on your phone, your calls are going to use the Wi-Fi first before your data on your, not the data, before your phone service on your phone. And that can either work or not work. It really depends on your Wi-Fi signal that you have in your house. You have to have a pretty strong signal because voice is very sensitive to interruptions in the signal. So if you do have Wi-Fi calling on and you find that you have dropped calls when you're talking to people, or they're chopping up when they're talking to you, you might want to shut Wi-Fi calling off, because that might mean that your Wi-Fi signal is not strong enough or stable enough to hold the voice. So if anyone has that type of setting, like I said, try it out. If it's not working for you, you can always just shut that off. Okay, any questions anyone has about the data saver we just talked about, the data limit? Warning or limit, depends on your phone. You may have one or the other or both. All righty.
I do have, can you hear me?
Yep, Eileen, yep.
Yeah. I just looked at my phone and it's got a picture of the phone and then the Wi-Fi over it. And that was weird because I was talking to a friend yesterday and she was all chopped up. So would that have something to do with that Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you were talking to her on the phone?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want, do you have Wi-Fi calling on then?
Yeah.
Yeah, try shutting it off and see if that might be, yeah.
Would I have shut up while she was
Is it happening to everyone that you talk to on the phone or just that one person? Because it could be.
Just that one person.
Could be on her side too. It's hard to say. So
you're saying I should use the icon with the phone and the Wi-Fi little above it and turn it off, right?
The Wi-Fi calling, yeah. It should be in your, my phone does not do Wi-Fi calling. It should be probably, you might have to do a search in your settings.
Okay.
Or it'll be under network and internet possibly.
Okay.
Where your Wi-Fi settings are.
Thank you.
I mean, if it's one person, it could just be their connection. It's hard to say.
Right.
You could. Sometimes you do get bad connections.
Okay.
But if you find it's happening a lot with different people, then maybe your Wi-Fi is not, stable enough for voice. It's fine for like Facebook and Pinterest and everything else, but not for voice.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Any other questions? All right, let's talk about battery saver. If you're on a Samsung, you'll have to swipe down from the top for your quick panel and go to power mode. So battery saver, again, we're in settings. Look for your battery section. If you're on your phone, you can open up battery. And then you'll find battery saver. Now, if you have an older phone, that when the batteries start getting old on a phone, it can get a little weird. So you probably know what setting you need to set on your phone. So I had the phone before this one. Once it hit 20%, it's over. It would really drain fast after 20%. So if you have a battery that is kind of like that, where you can't be out and about all day long because the battery dies quickly on you, you could set the battery saver on, because what battery saver does is while you're on battery, any apps that you don't use or are not currently using, they're not going to be able to update and do notifications. It's going to silence those type of activities to save your battery until you get on your charger. So that's what the battery saver is. So you can set a percentage. So if you find that, once your phone, maybe when you're out and about all day, once you hit 40%, after that, it starts really, coming down fast, then maybe you want to set at 40% that the battery saver comes on and you can slow down the dying of your phone during the day. Now, if you have a newer phone, the batteries are different than they were in the older phones. The old days, the lithium batteries, they told you drain them all the way down to nothing, right? And then, power them back up, drain them all the way down. But the newer batteries, they have a charge life of about 500 charges. And that charge life kicks in at about probably 30% on your average battery. So be aware of that. You'll have to, you probably can check with your manufacturer to see what the exact specs are for the battery. But to know that it's best to keep if you have a newer phone, to keep it charged. You don't want it to go down to zero. So setting a battery saver might be a good thing too for a new phone, to help prevent getting into that charge zone where it counts as a charge. May have also seen possibly a thing called adaptive battery also in your area. If you have a newer phone, it's a fairly new feature, adaptive battery. You can try this one. I would try this one first before battery saver, just to see how it works on your phone if you have it. And what it does, it adapts to the way you use your phone when you're on your battery. It learns your pattern of what apps you use, and then the apps that you never open when you're on battery, those apps are going to be unable to update, do notifications, that type of thing. And what happens is your phone learns your pattern. It knows that when you're on battery, you're going to go into your car, you're going to turn on Bluetooth, you're going to be doing Google Maps, you're going to be making phone calls, and it learns kind of what your pattern is, so it knows which apps are used and which ones aren't. So it learns over time your pattern. And again, that's fairly new feature. How many people have adaptive battery on their phones? No, yeah.
I had raised my hand and
go ahead, Wendy.
I was going to ask you where it was, but I just kept looking and I did just find it, and I do have it.
Okay, great. Yeah. That's part of this class, really. It's hard. We're looking at all different screens, but by looking at your own screen, you're going to learn a lot about your phone. You're going to see features as you're looking at what I'm talking about. You're going to see other things on the list that you're like, oh, this is interesting. I didn't know my phone could do this. So this is how we learn about our phones, just by going through and looking at these screens.
I have a question, Donna.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you say the adaptive battery, when you are on battery, aren't you always on battery, no matter where you are?
That's a good point. Yeah,
up?
yeah,
I mean,
you are kind of. Well, there's a difference when it's on a charger, when your phone's charging.
Okay.
Yeah. But technically, the charging is done through the battery. But yeah, but when it is on a charger, that's when your phone knows that it can easily update things and do notifications, because it's not going to use any of the battery.
Okay. Do you have any comments on the battery or the chargers that you just lay the phones on? I don't have one, so I don't know much about them, as opposed to plugging it into the
Yeah, those are kind of new. The only I don't own one myself, as I don't really know anything about them really. I think I read something about some interference sometimes, but I'm not too sure. It's a new technology, but I think it works pretty well. We have some people from Get Set Up here. Hey, Todd or Max, are you guys using any of those new charging pads?
No.
No? How about you, Todd?
I'm using it.
You are? So what's the deal? Tell us about it.
It's really good. It's really good.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot. I mean, I think they work well. I haven't really heard any bad things about them, but then again, I haven't really researched them that heavily. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice technology. I think it's great, especially if you have multiple devices that need to be charged, you can just stick them on it. You can get different size pads. You know, they have the ones for one phone, but you can have it for multiple ones, and you can put them all on top and charge.
So Donna, on the battery saver, so you should always turn that on or keep that on, or shouldn't you?
I leave mine on all the time because it's not really going to do anything when you're on the charger. But once you're walking away, if you do hit what you're doing with the battery saver, you're setting a percentage.
Yeah, I said 30% like you did. Yeah. Ours is basically the same, and and that's it. That's all you do. Just set it and leave it. Okay.
And this way, if you have a long day, you're at least kind of slowing down the draining of your battery.
Okay.
All righty. Any other questions? Oh, Wendy, did you have another question, or was that from before? Okay. All righty. Let's talk about backing up our photos to Google Photos. Now, Samsung people, you do have Samsung Photos, and you back up to the Samsung Cloud, which, from my understanding, has just moved to Microsoft's OneDrive. So you're actually storing on Microsoft. So when we're talking about Google Photos, I am talking about the icon that looks like a pinwheel. So let me head over to my phone. It's a white icon with a pinwheel. Looks like a pinwheel. Now, some of the Samsung people may have this on their phone. They may not. It's hard to say. It's up to you. If you want, you don't have to download it. If you're not using it, you can just watch the demonstration. And you might want to use the time to go into your gallery and look at your Samsung setup and make sure your Samsung is syncing to your cloud if you want that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my Photos app here. So you open up Google Photos. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see your profile. There's going to be mine's D for Donna. You're going to have maybe your profile. Maybe you have a picture here. Maybe you've already uploaded a picture to your Google account. That could be a possibility. So the upper right-hand corner, you click on that profile button, the blue one, and you're going to come down the list here to the almost the bottom to photo settings. Photo settings right here. And then at the very top, you're going to see backup and sync. Very top, backup and sync. Click on that. And then you're going to see another backup and sync at the top. This is where, if you turn it on, you will be backing up to the cloud, the Google Photo Cloud. If you have it off, you're not. I had a person in the class. We have a nice Google Photos class, and I recommend you take it if you're using Google Photos. And she took the class and everything, and then she came into this class and she said, I took the class, but my photos aren't syncing because she hadn't come in here and turned this on. So make sure. And if you're adventurous, you Samsung people, you could double check your gallery. Go into the settings there. It's probably in the upper right-hand corner, or maybe a 3-dot menu or something like that. Double check to make sure you are backing up. If you're not too sure, you could also check on your Samsung settings to make sure you're syncing. There is a website that you can go to, photos.google.com, where you can see the photos that are backed up on the cloud. You can share them out to your family and friends, your different photos. You can create albums with all your photos, organize them. There's a print store here. I can come in here, I can create photo books, photo prints, canvas prints, all that type of stuff. And we do have a class too, I believe, on doing the photo books if you're interested in creating how to create a photo book. They usually ask you for about 20 pictures that you want to put in the book and pick one for the cover. So you can come in here And this is the way to see the cloud side of your Google Photos. Any questions? Were people able to find?
How did you go to this, you just went to the website?
Yeah, this is the website. And you'll get a link at the end of the class. You'll get the link to this and that Google Play, the Play Store link also. You'll get those in the email. So you can come on to here. And if you do use Google Photos, I do recommend you take that Google Photos class. So you can learn all about organizing your photos and archiving them and all that type of stuff.
Okay.
How many now? Did everyone? Was the sync on, or did some people find you weren't syncing, or what happened? Eileen, what happened to you?
I just turned it on. I didn't even know I was not syncing.
You weren't syncing.
Yeah. So it's on now.
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of strange. You would think that if you have Google Photos app on your phone, that it would just automatically be syncing.
Right.
But yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got that.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? All right. And if you don't want to sync, you just click it off. If you don't want it, it's your choice. All righty, let's go on to the next thing. All right, we're going to do a little exercise here. We're going to create a document. It's going to be a PDF. We're going to do it two different ways. We're going to save it on our phones, and then we're going to go find it. So we're going to learn a little bit about, some different other areas of your phone. And you're also going to learn about your file manager on your phone and how to actually find these files. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to pull up a photo in Google Photos. We're going to do we're going to do the photo to PDF. Actually, it could be anything. It could be a picture you take with your camera. It could be a magazine article, maybe, or maybe you're getting your taxes done and whoops, something just showed up. And a document you never saw. You could take a quick picture of it with your camera, and then you could convert it later to a PDF if you wanted to, or at the lawyer's office. Any type of case like that where you're taking a picture of a document. As an example, I'm just going to use a photo, but this could be anything you took a picture of. And if you want to we're just going to convert it just so you can see what that process would be like. So I'm just going to open up a photo. So, any photo you want to bring up in Google Photos. And there is a way to do this. If you don't have Google Photos, Samsung, you could do this in your gallery. I know I had someone in this class, they were able to follow along with me going through their Samsung photos. So if you're adventurous, you can try it. So I have the photo open. I'm going to go to my 3-dot menu in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to click on the 3 dots. And then you're going to see at the bottom of the photo, there's this menu. Now this slides to the left. So you're going to take your finger and just slide it to the left. And then the last selection here is print. So I'm going to click on print. You might already have a printer assigned to your phone. Once you do this, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a little down arrow. You can click on this and then select Save as PDF. You're going to save it as a PDF. It's going to make the document. It's a 1-page. It says 1 of 1 right here. Towards the upper right, you'll see now there's this blue. It could be a different color on your phone. It might be a different color. It says PDF. It's a little globe. It's blue on my phone. It could be a different color on yours. I think someone said theirs is kind of an orangey color on some of the phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone has the orange color. Yeah.
I do, orange.
So click on that little globe. And then at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a save button. And then at this point, you can give it a title. I can call it, I think those are lilies. I'll call it Pretty Lilies. And then I can click save. And then it's going to save to my phone. You'll see it briefly, and then the screen changes. We'll go back and find that file in a second. Were people able to do that? Okay.
I think.
We'll find out. You're going to get, in the email you get for this class, it's going to be all the steps are included in the email, so you can go through and try things again if you want. All right. Now, another little slant to this would be saving web pages. So I'm going to bring up a web page. I'm just going to go open up my browser. Let me show my phone. I have my browser open. I think I've got click on my address thing. Here we go. Here we go. This is an article on how to fix Windows 7 sharing in VirtualBox. So it's a tech article. So I'm looking at this article on the web. It's got a lot of good information. Maybe I want to put this to a PDF because I want to save it for later. I can bookmark it, but the problem with bookmarks is sometimes you go back and the website's gone, or if it's something you really want to save at that moment, for sure, you can just make this into a PDF. So we can pull up any article on the web that you find, anything. And you're going to go again to the three-dot menu in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that. If you see the option to print at this point, you can go ahead and hit print. On my phone, I have to go to the share where it says share with the little lesser than sign. I'm going to click on share, and it's going to bring up all my sharing options because I could take this article and email someone. I could, text it to someone. There's all kinds of options you can do. I'm just going to select print. I've got a print icon. So I'm going to select print. And now I'm back to the same space we were earlier with the document that was in the photos, in Google Photos. So I'm going to go to the upper right corner here where there's the little down arrow. Little white down arrow. I'm going to select Save as PDF. And now this was a pretty long article, so this is going to be a few pages. So it's 7 pages long now, but looks good. Nice document, no ads, nothing in there, so this looks good. I have my PDF little globe sitting here in the upper right, so I'm going to click on this again. And now my save button is going to show up on the bottom. Look for the save button. You can give it a name if you want. However, it already has a name, so I'm going to leave it with the name it had. But if it comes up with some real funky name, you can always give it something that you're going to remember. And then I'll hit save. And then it will save it onto my phone. So there's 2 different ways that we created documents. Now, the next question, anybody have any questions about that? Similar processes, just it's a little different when you're doing it through Google, like Google Photos versus in your browser. All right, so where are these documents we just saved, right? Where'd they go? All right, so our phones all have a file manager of some sort. So far in the Android world, I've only found 3. I'm still waiting for number 4. I'm sure it's going to come around. But so far, your phone either go to your app folder. It's either going to be My Files, Files, or File Manager. So I'm going to go to my app folder. To get to my app folder, I swipe up from the bottom of my screen to see all the apps on my phone. Go to your app folder on your phone, and then look for under F from Files or File Manager or My Files, and see what you have. I know my Motorola has Files. Looks like one of those little the manila envelope things you would put in a file cabinet. Right here it says Files. So
did you put your files in alphabetical order? Because mine are all over the place, and I have to like really dig in there to find anything.
Oh, in your app folder?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Usually, what kind of phone do you have? Usually these are in alphabetical order.
I have an S20 Galaxy Samsung X20, and like mine are ridiculously not in alphabetical order.
I've never heard of that.
On my phone, I have a choice of arranging them alphabetically or by the date I installed them.
Oh, that's what you have then, by the date.
And I can flip back and forth. I can choose which one I want.
Where is that? Where does she go? Is there like a little settings button or?
Well, it's the 3 menu or the 3 dot menu up on the upper right when I'm on looking.
There you go. Go to your 3 dot.
And it says sort apps by, and then the choices are alphabetical or download date.
Thank you so much. Yay. That's so helpful. Yay.
Yay. That's great. I love it when you guys can help each other. Good job. Thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome.
I like it when we can solve these little problems on our phones that irk us. We can knock them out every now and then. That's good. So find your either My Files, or File Manager. And when you open it up, let's see, I got to go back to mine. Now, mine is Files. Files, if you have Files, it opens up to the download directory. So if you have Files, you need to go to the upper left-hand corner. There's a little menu button on the left here, and then you will see the list of the files. If you have File Manager, it immediately opens up to all the images, videos, all those should be right there on your screen. So when we're looking at this, you'll see images. If I go under images, you're going to see things like any apps that store images. You have your camera, Facebook, screenshots, if you do any screenshots. I used to use WeChat. WeChat used to save images. If you use WhatsApp or any apps that would share some type of image would be here. There's videos also. If you have any videos, audio, you should have a downloads directory. You might have a documents directory also that shows up depending on your file manager. If you have Google Drives, if you have any Google Drives attached to your phone here, they'll show up. So you can go to your Google Drive if you use one. I've got 2 of them set on my phone. And in your downloads directory, you may notice a lot of things have downloaded there. This is where you can, by accident, download stuff. When you're on a web page or something, you can clear those out if you don't want any of those anymore to save up space. Yeah, Gigi?
I have a question.
Sure.
Now, under My Files, it has Samsung Cloud Drive not signed in, OneDrive not signed in, and Google Drive not signed in.
So you're not signed into any of your drives.
Oh, so I have to sign.
Yeah, you'll have to sign into those to connect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you have to go in and hopefully, those are always tricky sometimes to remember what your sign-ins are for those. So
Okay,
yeah, so you have to sign those in.
okay.
Now you might have noticed also your phone. Like I have a Moto G6 here. You'll probably see your Samsung phone as one of the directories. If you click on that, that's all the folders on your phone. Now be careful here. You don't want to willy-nilly start deleting things because, you never know what it might need the directory for, because these are usually installed when you're installing apps. Apps will use some directories. You might notice they're empty, but the app may use it as a cache or something when it's running. It may actually put files there when you have the app open and running. So be careful in here. Now, if you want to back up your phone, if you do any type of backing up where you want to back up to a thumb drive, maybe you want to back it up to your laptop or something like that, one of the key directories, there's actually 3 of them. There's download, there's the documents. If you have it on your phone, there's a documents directory some phones have. And then there's DCIM. DCIM, if you go look at DCIM, this is your camera and then any photos you download from Facebook. So you will have all the camera, all the pictures are in here. Does anyone ever copy their files from their phone to their laptop or anything like that? Yeah. So DCIM, that's for the pictures. All right. So when we're looking at now, the nice thing about being in the Android world, if you really don't like your file manager, you can go to Google Play Store. You can do a search for file managers and you can go pick another one if you don't like what you have currently on your phone. That's why we have so many file managers, because everyone has different style. So were you able to find the pictures that, not the pictures, the documents, the PDFs that you made earlier? Did you find them when you were looking? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right. Any questions about that then? So that solves the mystery of where are the files on our phones. Yeah, it's just like when you're on a Windows computer or something, you have folders and directories.
So Donna, you can have a file manager on your phone and files, because I have an app for both of them.
Yeah, you can have 2 different ones. Yeah, and they probably show you the folders in different ways, huh?
Yeah, the file manager has like the download, movies, music, notification, pictures, podcasts. So
that's nice.
Yeah, but I don't understand all that. So I know you just went through some of it, but
yeah, I would say take a look at both of the apps and possibly probably the reason you have 2 of them. One of them probably came originally with Android. And then possibly your phone, whoever your phone manufacturer is, they might have added that other one.
Okay.
Because with the podcast and everything, that sounds like something that would have been added by your carrier or someone.
Maybe so, yeah.
Because like my files thing, it doesn't do podcasts or anything. It just has a video directory. That's it.
Mine probably just upgraded some kind of way. I don't know.
Yep. You got like a fancier one, it sounds like.
No, I don't. This is actually a government phone. They really can't have come up.
Yeah. Well, I like that. I like that idea, that file manager that has the podcast and all that kind of stuff. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any type of, Eileen? What's your file manager like?
Well, I did everything came out great, but how do you make it larger so you can read like the document?
You just take you just put your fingers on the screen and just pinch out.
Oh, okay.
When you pinch in, it makes it small. Pinch out, and it'll make it bigger on the screen.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
So Donna,
Mhm.
when you trying to, what I needed just some explanation of, okay, when you need the storage and you trying to get, more storage. So you go to how do you take some of the storage out? Cache, what is it?
Oh, you have storage issues, which I have storage issues on my phone right now.
Yeah, so sometimes you can have like 70 up and store it. So what is the best way to get rid? Can you take the data and if you do data, you will take everything off your phone if you do that, right?
Well, I would start with, first of all, the apps you're not using. If you know which ones they are. If there's any apps on your phone where you're thinking, I never use this app, the easiest thing to start taking care of the storage
Mhm.
is, let's say I want to get rid of this app right here on my phone. If I press down on it, you're going to see app info.
Mhm.
Click on app info, and then you can uninstall. And it will tell you, look at the storage. This takes 154 megabytes. So you can see how much storage you're going to clear.
Yeah, I went through all of mine, and everything in here, most of it I can't take off this phone. But I'm saying, like, when you go into like if you go into, like, if you got the Google Play, and it's disable or force stop, and you go into storage and you got like 20 megabytes. Can you clear out? What do you clear out? The cache, the CHAC?
Oh, yeah. You can clear out the cache. That's a good idea. Because that will build up as you're looking at websites. There'll be caching done on your drive, so that will clear out a lot of space, clearing out your cache.
Okay,
that type of thing. Yes,
but don't do the data, because that'll clear out everything on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you clear out the data,
that's the trick. Yeah.
then,
Okay.
yeah, depending on the app, then you might have to download things again, or
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So that's it.
Donna, if you are going to clear the cache, is that on each app separately?
Yep.
Yeah. Each one will do its own cache.
Yeah.
And some of those apps can be very surprising how much they store in cache.
Yeah.
And it stays there. Now, depending on how things are programmed, if it's nice, clean programming, it should clear the cache when you're closing out the app or something like that. But a lot of these don't. They just they leave it there, and they probably use it again when you open the app. But the problem is, it never really does get cleared out.
And
it can get kind of, it can grow on that. If it's a sloppy program, it doesn't manage the cache very well. It's just keep adding stuff and kind of bloats up your phone. All right. Any other questions?
Okay, on Google search data, you can clear that out, so they don't make a difference really. If you won't, if you clear that out, that won't affect anything, because that's just clearing out.
Yeah. The browsers have a big cache.
Yeah, so I can clear that out, and it won't affect anything. Yeah. Okay.
The only thing is cookies. That's what clearing out cookies will clear out passwords for a lot of things.
Okay.
That's the one to be careful.
Okay.
Because if you have a lot of things that have passwords, you're not using a password manager or something like that, which we do have a class on if anyone wants to think about using a password manager. But if you have a lot of passwords all over the place, be careful on deleting the cookies, because you're going to have to probably re-log into everything. So make sure you know your passwords.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to have some heartache.
Yeah, it's a couple of more things I need to ask you, but I know we can't do it on this one.
You can always come back. We do these classes all the time.
Okay.
All right, let's talk real quick about do not disturb. Oh, is there a question?
Yes. So I have several PDF files that when I try to open them, it says that cannot display and that it's invalid format. What does that mean?
When you went to open the PDF, did it ask you, do you want to use the PDF viewer once or always? Did you see that?
Yes.
So did you say at least one of you selected one of those?
I said just once.
Just once. and it didn't open up?
No.
I'm wondering if you don't have a PDF viewer. What kind of phone do you have?
The Moto Z3. Motorola
It
Z3.
might just be that possibly the PDF viewer is not on that phone, which is okay. I mean, maybe you're not going to do any PDFs, but you can always get a PDF viewer. Just go to the Play Store and go for, let me see if I can find one. Like if I come in here and search PDF viewer, so you can, Adobe is the top one, of course, but they have some other ones too. Fast PDF reader. You can take a look at these and see if you want to have one on your phone. You can always put it on. I think the PDF viewer, it comes with some versions of Android. It's already built in. Like on my phone, I didn't install that. I think it was already on my version of Android. The Android, when we say Android, we're talking about the operating system on our phones. Just
Right.
like you would say someone's running Windows 10 or they're running Macintosh, Mac. Android is just the operating system. Or iPhone people, they run iOS. And so that's what it is. So we have different levels. Like I have on my phone, I have version 9. You might have 11. I think they're at 12 right now. So there's all different versions with each of our phones. So you're going to have different things built into each version.
So
I remember.
How do I determine if I do have a PDF viewer or not? How do I search?
You could look in your app folder just to see if there's anything PDF. See if anything's been installed on your phone. I know for mine it just comes up because I don't think I have a PDF viewer. I got everything else under the sun, but let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything PDF. Of course, you can always do a search. Let me search PDF. It just tells me to install. So I must have a little something in my version. I have Android 9. It must be just something enough just to open a PDF. Yeah, but you can always, if you find yourself in a situation where you're wanting to read a lot of PDFs and you can't open them, you can just download something.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Donna, before you go on to the next thing, well, we're talking about the different versions or different levels like 8, 9, whatever.
Right.
But there's also what I consider in my head is like flavors of Android. There's the Samsung version. Would that be a fair way to think about it?
Yeah, because the Samsung steps out of the box quite a bit compared to the other Androids.
Okay.
But you have your I think the Android versions are similar, but there's a lot of apps around them. Like Samsung has a lot of extra apps and features that they have. Where I have some Motorola on my phone. I have Motorola apps on my phone, so that my phone might do some different things that yours won't do because you have Samsung and vice versa. So you'll just see those differences between the different manufacturers. That's why we see so many differences, because it's not like in the iPhone world where everyone's got an iPhone. It's the same company that does all the phones. We have all multiple. We have Samsung, Motorola, Google, T-Mobile, LG, all these different, manufacturers. So you just end up with all these different phones.
Would you think that the Google Pixel phones are more like pure, unadorned Android?
Well, they'll have a lot of Google apps on them.
Okay.
They'll have Google will have their stamp on them for sure. So I don't know if there's anything that's pure in the Android world. I think everyone's got their own little slant, but I think the Android operating system itself is, I think, pretty close. It's just that it's all the bells and whistles around it that make these really different.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you can find out if you go under your settings area, if you go down scroll all the way down in your settings to the bottom, you'll see about phone. If you don't see it, look for system and then about phone, and you can see all the information. You can see the model of your phone. You're going to see your serial number if there's one, the version of Android you have. All that stuff's going to be all in that area. So you can find out exactly what version Android operating system you're running. All right, well, we're at the end of the class today. I want to thank you for attending. I hope this was helpful for you. We have our using your Android phone, which is the beginner class. We talk about more beginner stuff there. And I have a class on fun things to do with your smartphone. We talk about fun apps that you can use on your phone. We're going to be getting an email at the end of this class with the class notes. There's a feedback form. You can go ahead and fill out the feedback. If you have any class suggestions you would like, you can go ahead and put them there. Someone will definitely read it. If you like to garden or something like that, you'd like to join our community here and do a little social hour, let us know about it. We'll team you up with a guide. They'll get you set up on your hour, and you can have some fun meeting other people in the community. If you, we partner with organizations. If you have an organization in mind that might like some of our services we have here, let us know about them by emailing help@getsetup.io. You can also get the recording at help@getsetup.io. If you've been with us for a while, you may have noticed our website has changed a lot. 2 weeks ago, we made a major change. Marv is doing a wonderful class, tips and tricks on navigating Get Setup's new look. You can go take that class and learn more about the new website and how to navigate around it, register for your classes, and that type of stuff. All right, everyone. Good luck with your phones. We'll see you in another class. Come on in anytime. And we'll talk some more about our phones. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.